Welcome back to another episode of the Miracle Marketing Podcast, where we bring you interviews from business owners, celebrity guests, and hot topics. I am your host, Brandon Adams, along with my co-host, super producer, Big Perion. Big Perion, how's it going out there?
It's going well, man. Can't complain. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. We have a great guest. How is it out there in Vegas?
Man, Vegas is good. It's a little rainy right now, but I'm sure it's not going to be that way all day long. And we're about to heat this show up with our special guests. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, we would like you to subscribe and also send us an email to A Miracle Podcast. On today's show, we have Mr. Carnell Johnson. He is a singer and he also works with the Vegas World Champion Golden Knights. Welcome to the show, Mr. Carnell Johnson.
Thank you so much for having me. Good to be here.
Great, great. So tell us a little bit about how long you've been singing. You also play instruments. I've also checked out. So tell us a little bit about that and how'd you get started?
I've been singing as long as I can remember. There are, for those that can remember, there are cassette tapes of me out there singing along with my mom to the likes of Cyndi Lauper, George Michael, way back in the mid 80s. And then when I really got into singing was about middle school. I started joining choir, did all of like the top choirs and the show choirs. And then in high school, started doing regional and national choirs, and just kept going with it. Got my degree in music education. I even taught choir for a while. And along the lines, kind of picked up how to play piano, guitar, drums, and that just is kind of snowballed into what it is now.
Okay. How'd you get your break with the Golden Knights?
So that one was truly just walking into a room of people and singing. A lot of the times they call these cattle calls, where they put out an all call to everyone to say, hey, we're auditioning for so-and-so. So this one happened to be the National Anthem. And I just sent in a video of me singing something. I can't even remember at this point. And they called in about over 600 people to do a live audition. And then from there, they chose the first 41 people, or sometimes it was a duo or a trio, to sing at the home games. And I just happened to be chosen for one of them. And I was only supposed to do the one, but they liked how I did it. They liked how I paused for night. They liked my timing of it, and it just kind of grew into what it is now. So there was not really one thing that did it. It was just kind of a whole conglomerate of things.
Okay. So what was it like being a part of them winning the Stanley Cup? Because I saw that you have your own Golden Knights bobblehead. So how did that come about?
Oh man, also I'll say this for the Cup. Being born and raised in Vegas, we didn't have any local pro teams for a long, long, long time. Our biggest thing was the 90s, late 80s, early 90s Rebels, with Larry Johnson, Stacey Augman. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Sorry.
No problem.
Get that light. Make sure it stays on. So yeah, it wasn't. It was pro teams were never a big thing unless you were from out of town and you brought your love of your team here. So having that first Vegas born team win one of the hardest trophies in the world to win, you have to not only get to the postseason, then you have to win 16 games just to get this trophy. So I was in tears just of something that means so much to this city. From the tragedy to October 1, when they really truly stepped up and kind of helped everything out, to just growing in 6 years to what it is now, has just been beyond phenomenal, and it can only get greater from here. It's just, who knows where it's going to go.
Perion?
how did Monday's Dark begin? How did that come about?
Monday's Dark is, for those who don't know, is a show run by Mark Chinook, who is the in-arena host for the Vegas Golden Knights. He started that show 10 years ago, and it is a show where it's 2 Mondays a month, and we raise $10,000 for charity. He started it back at the Hard Rock when he first got here doing his show, and he would just ask performers on the Strip, hey, do you want to just donate your time, come sing a song, and we're going to help out local charities. And so once I started getting in with the Golden Knights and he was already there, you know, him and I kind of knew each other even before that. And it just kind of, the partnership grew. At first, I was just a guest singer. I would come and sing, you know, maybe every 6 months or so. And then they needed somebody to sit in for the background vocals. So I sat in a few times, and then it grew into me just being a regular on the show. So, you know, now I'm there every you know, whichever 2 Mondays, it just depends on timing. I'm there and helping out. You know, we're just, and the good thing about that is, you know, we have all these galas, which are phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but you know, people, they dress up. It's very proper. They're wearing gowns, they're wearing tuxedos, they're wearing suits. Where this one, we're just going and having a good, fun time. And you know, sometimes a lot of people just they need that release of having a few drinks, hearing some jokes, cracking a smile, and just living it up.
Man, yeah, it's beautiful. I saw the episode where y'all performed "Shoot." I saw
Yeah. And I was here I go again. Yeah, and I was singing it, so I had to be one of them. And you know, that's how it is sometimes. You know, you step into songs that you might know, but then you're like, oh wait, I have to actually like learn this song. You know, because you'll sing like end parts or beginning parts. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked like fun, man, and it looked like y'all were having a lot of fun on stage too. I like the way y'all engaged with the crowd, and it just looked like something like when I'm in Vegas, I would like to visit one of y'all shows. It looked like it was real fun.
Definitely, when you're ever in Vegas, let me know. I'll make sure you have tickets. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it's dope, man. Just the energy, and I can understand because especially in the times and the seasons that we are in now, people need a little laughter, a little joy, a little break from, you know, just the regular day-to-day rush. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's real good that y'all break it up like that throughout the month. That help a lot of people out. I know a lot of people come there for release.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, you know, is there's so much going on in the world, and we don't ever take away from the gravitas of that. You know, it is important to understand these things that are happening all over the country, all over the world. But if you live in that, you know, that's just going to pull you down so much. So to have those little forms of, just like you said, of laughter, of good feelings, you know, releasing dopamine, releasing endorphins, just to enjoy life for a little bit. The other stuff is going to be there. It's not going away. Yeah. So take a step away from it for, you know, 90 minutes a week. That's not a lot of time. Take a step away from it, and then, you know, have a laugh, have a drink with a friend. It'll be there waiting for you. I promise.
But so, do you ever sing with your kids like you grew up singing with your parents?
Sometimes, you know, when my kids were younger, like when I was younger, they were a little bit more into helping out, into singing along with me and stuff. You know, now that you know, I have a son who's going to be 17 in like 8 days. You know, he's more along. What's that?
I say happy early birthday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he'll appreciate that. Thank you.
He's a Capricorn.
Yeah, he's actually now starting to get into musical theater and choir, you know, a little bit later than I did, but I was never going to push him. He wanted to do what he wanted to do. My daughter's 11 and she's in middle school right now. She's been doing singing since she was like third, fourth grade. And now she's at an academy for performing arts.
Wow, wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, it would be cool to see you and them in videos, you know, on social media singing together, even for the holidays, just doing, you know, little songs and stuff like that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So, Carnell, is that a championship ring you got on?
Oh, you mean this old thing right here? Yeah, let me see if I can it might be
Yeah,
a little
show our viewers.
Oh, we saw it last week. That's just how big it is.
right. Oh yeah, no, this is so I just got this last night. So you know, it's one of those things where it's like I'm gonna show it off for a while and then it's going in the safe.
There you go.
You know, but yeah, it's this one is I like I have everybody trying it on. It doesn't even fit on their thumb, so it's a pretty big ring. You know, it's the players and the coaches, they get their special ring, which like that one opens up on top and there's a little replica of the rink in the middle of it, and the top of it turns into a pendant, which is beautiful. You know, I'm just thankful that I got recognized for this, but it's a pretty special thing to get.
That's dope. We had Deandra Duggins from the Las Vegas Aces on the show. And you know, the Ace, shout out to the Aces. The Aces just won their second championship, and she had a ring also. She had a championship ring. So that's good that, you know, it's not just the players and, you know, the head people, but everybody that contributes get a ring as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, it's the owner's decision, but he knows what goes into this. You know, yeah, the players are the ones on the ice, but there's so much going on in the background that a lot of people don't see. I mean, at our party last night, there are people that I've met for the first time because they might be like up in the rafters running the lights or running the fog, or the sound guys that stay up in the audio booth that I, you know, just haven't met before. So, you know, we I mean, at our party, just production, we probably had around 100 people, and that's not even close to how much it takes to do what we do every game night.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. And then by the time you win a Stanley Cup, you just got to elevate even more because your fans are going to expect even more, and the lights are brighter on you. So, you know, you got to come with it. You got to bring more and more excitement.
Yeah. It's all about sitting in and being like, all right, we did this. Now, how are we going to even elevate it to the next level?
Next level.
And, you know, it's a job I don't want to have. I'm glad that, you know, there are higher minds up there that have these visions, and I just get to be a part of that vision, which I'm very thankful for.
So let me ask you a question. You work with the Knights. People see you on TV. People see you're in a crowd of, I guess, what does T-Mobile hold? 18,000, 20,000 people?
18.5, yeah.
Okay. So being in front of 18,500 people, do you ever switch up your routine so it doesn't get monotonous, or, just like we were just talking about how you want to elevate to the next level? Is that something that you think about or ever thought about, or do you keep it the same?
I think for the anthem specifically, it's one thing you don't want to change up and get crazy with, because so many people know it. So many people want to, a lot of people want to sing along, you know, they have pride in this country for whatever reason that may be. And when you start adding your own flair to it and it gets off the rails, people tend to respond. I'm not going to say negatively, but people tend to not respond as well to it, you know, and you'll get a lot of just I'm not gonna not hate, but you'll get a lot of comments on social media, just in general about, well, why did they do all these crazy things? And it just needs to be sung. I will never say correct, because how I view something is correct it might be different for somebody else, but I will say I sing it how it was written, and that's what people know. So I tend to never change it up, especially because with TV, they can set it for what I sing, which is right around a minute and 30 seconds, plus or minus 2 seconds. So I'm great for TV because I never deviate outside of that. So it's something I don't ever plan on changing. Ask me again in 5 years, my answer might change. I don't know.
Yeah,
I call them church moments. Have you ever wanted to get up there and say, let me show them what I can really do?
No, honestly, no, because I'm a classically trained singer. I went to school singing opera, singing these classical tunes. So what you get of me out there, that's really what I can do. On my side projects are things that I'm trying, and I'm trying to find this other voice, like this R&B voice, or this rock voice, or this hip hop voice. And so I get up in front of these people and just go like, this is what you guys got, this is what I trained for. You want to see some of my other stuff? Yeah, come out and see some of my other stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've worked behind the scenes with a lot of the artists that I represent, and had to pitch them to sing to the national anthem to the MLB, and I've able to get my client to sing the national anthem with the MLB in Atlanta for the Braves, also WNBA a couple of times. And I know there's a big difference. Like, MLB is very traditional. They don't want all the runs. They specifically say we don't want all the runs and things like that. NBA and WNBA is a little bit different. They don't mind, them putting a little bit of their flair on it. I've never
Right.
had to work with anybody to do the NHL or NFL, but I know sometimes they're a little more, they want it a little more traditional as far as singing the national anthem, depending on
Yeah.
your type of audience.
Right.
Mhm. Yep.
And the
Very.
time. I was saying, and the time, because if they being on TV, they have everything timed out, and
Mhm.
you can't be running long because they have it. Everything is on a schedule, so you got to stick to the script, or either they're gonna replace you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
you mentioned about your other projects. I'm sorry.
No,
You mentioned
it's
about
okay.
your other projects. What do you have in the works as far as music?
So for music, I have a duo. We're called Cover Lane. And it's just like me and a acoustic guitar, and then my singing partner Lene Myers, who she sings the national anthem at our AHL affiliate, the Silver Knights. And whenever we play a Canadian team, she comes to T-Mobile and she sings the Canadian anthem. She's one of my best friends in the world. And our duo sings that's our like pop stuff. We go out, we do bars, we do restaurants, we'll even do corporate events, and it's just to kind of get that musical release of, both of us have day jobs. I work in marketing, she works in administration, and we're both musically trained. We both went to college and have a music degree, and it's hard to make a living in music. So we both have kids. She just had a baby 7 months ago, and we've got to provide for these young ones. So we have these day jobs, but we do this side project so that we can stay in music, and keep our voices up, more than just 41 games a season at the T-Mobile Arena. It really gives us a chance to just get that release.
Not only that, you're getting national exposure.
And yeah, that's a big thing. It's been quite the run of national and even international. I've had friends say, oh yeah, I have a friend in Australia, or I have a friend in Jamaica who knows who you are. Or my dad lives in California, and that one's national. But he said that his neighbor was talking to him, who is a hockey fan. He was like, oh, and there's this singer um for the Golden Knights. Like, he's phenomenal. He's amazing. And my dad was like, that's my son, right? And you never know. People all over the world just hearing that and seeing that, and it's learning how to deal with that and to cope with it has been a whole new learning experience for me.
Gotcha.
The I seen some clips of you pronouncing different products.
Oh, you saw those for that. So that's my marketing side. Back in the mid 2000s to the late, 2007, 8, 9, somewhere around there. There was a thing called Vine, and there were those little clips, usually about 6, 7 seconds long, before we got into more long form social media. And there was a guy on there who would go to grocery stores mainly and would pronounce things he would say incorrect tally. So being the genre that we're in, this social media genre that we're in, where I work, it's a car dealership, and we're not your quintessential car dealership. There's a stigma on there, and rightfully so, because for a long time car dealerships were, kind of sleazy, kind of greasy. We're trying to take that. We nothing is hidden with us. We don't bait and switch. And so we're just trying to keep up with the times, quote unquote. And that's the thing, is social media. And along with our products, it's like, what, put some humor into this, let people see our fun side. And so I remembered that Vine from back then, and I was like, what, I bet I could do this and find some things. And so I would go around, and sometimes I'd see something, and the way that I would pronounce it, I'd be like, probably shouldn't say that on social media for a car dealership. And so I kind of skip it and just give that humor so that people can come up their mind, oh, how would he pronounce that? And be like, well, that's up to you. I'm not going to say it.
You're right.
That's I'm telling you, that's what I wondered. Like, every time it came to that one little part, it was like, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
I was like, what would it have been?
So, well, if you'll allow me to say it, I'll say it one time. But it is our TDI, and so the way I was going to pronounce it is titty. So that's the one. I'll say that one time, but you say it was a Volkswagen Jetta, so I would pronounce Jetta Jetita, and then I go over to the TDI and I'd be like, nope, not going to say
it. So our viewers got the exclusive, never before seen or heard.
Yeah,
exclusive here on the Miracle Marketing Podcast.
Only here. That's dope. That's dope. So, for your fans and for our viewers, where can they find you at?
So you can find me on social media at Golden Pipes, at Vegas Golden Pipes, sorry, on Facebook and Instagram, and then on X you can find me at Golden Pipes LV. I'm most active on Instagram. I'll post my shows I got coming up with my duo. I interact with fans a lot there. And you get a small glimpse into my day-to-day life.
Are you tied into your contract? Can you sing for other teams in other cities?
Yes, yeah, I'm allowed to sing wherever. There's no one place that it's open. I've sung for, honestly, I was the first person to sing that national anthem for the Raiders. for the Las Vegas Raiders. But it was August of 2020. So we were right in the throes of COVID. So I couldn't be there in person. I had to come in 3 days before, record it, and then they played it during the first game. But I can always say, because at that time they were just playing recordings of it, the next home game they played was the Whitney Houston National Anthem. So I got to sing before Whitney Houston did.
Not only that, that's huge doing NFL because you're singing in front of, you think of hockey, the 18-5 football, that's like 60,000 people.
Yep, 60,000, and then the amount of people that watch football.
Mhm.
It was one of those things that I will always remember. And then I've got to sing for the Aces. I've even sung for the Lakers preseason. So it has afforded me chances to perform for these other teams.
And then you look at, we got coming in Vegas, the Oakland A's, which would be the Las Vegas A's,
Right.
if they don't change the name. But, we're putting that out in the atmosphere. We're putting it out there now, Carnell, that you'll be doing more for the Raiders, the A's, regular at the Aces, and then so you'll have them all on lock. I'm putting it out there right now.
Well, I
Yes, sir.
appreciate it. I definitely would love to do an in arena anthem for the Raiders at some point, just to be like, oh yeah, you sang the first one, you know what? Come back and do it when we got 64,000 people here.
Mark Davis, if you're listening, we're putting it out there. So he would like to perform the national anthem for the Las Vegas Raiders. Mark Davis, check that out.
Oh,
Hey, so I wanted to touch bases. I saw you playing the guitar. How long you been playing instruments? And is that the only instrument that you play?
so I've been playing guitar on and off I really started in high school is when I first picked it up.
Mhm.
And then I never really like went far with it. I would call myself a campfire guitarist, which is, you can look at some chords and you can play songs as long as you have those chords in front of you. But really I've been playing a lot for probably the past 4 or 5 years. When we started our duo, I was like, okay, I actually have to put the work into this and get a nicer guitar. I had just kind of a practice guitar for a long time. But that's not even the first instrument I learned. The first instrument I learned was piano. Started taking piano lessons in kindergarten all the way through elementary, and even into middle school a little bit. And then in high school, after guitar, a lot of high school kids want to start a band and they needed a drummer. Well, I had the rhythm. I could, separate my hands from my feet. So I taught myself drums, played in a local rock band here for about 5-ish years as well. I would say those are my 3 main instruments. I played saxophone in middle school band, and the bass guitar is just the first 4 strings of a regular guitar. So if I needed to, I could pick up a bass guitar and fumble my way through it.
Wow, talent.
Thank you.
Great talent, great talent. Perion?
Instruments, singing. Have you ever you have any other goals for the upcoming year as far as like teaching again or doing a master class?
It's not something I thought of, but it's always something I'm open to. I when I was growing up here, I know a lot of the high school choir teachers, because a lot of them are still teaching from even when I was in school. And when I was a teacher here in town, I got to learn. I got to meet more of the teachers that have, the ones that retired, the ones that came in. So we all kind of know each other. And teachers have asked me, and I've done it. I've gone into their classrooms and, done a 30-minute class or an hour-long class. It's not something that I always am looking to do, but when they reach out to me and we can make it happen, it's always something I'm open for, because I think it's important to see what people can accomplish, even I'll say later in life. This didn't happen for me in my 20s. This was something that I was 36 when I got called to sing for the Knights, and it grew from there. So, it's one of those things where we live in a world, because of social media, that these younger kids have a thought of instant gratification.
They do.
And if it doesn't happen within a few months, it's never going to happen. Samuel L. Jackson didn't get started till his 40s. Morgan Freeman in his 40s. Like, these guys are people who worked mundane jobs for years, for decades, and once they got discovered, it just blew up, and they never stopped. They kept the grind, and you've got to teach these kids now that, if you don't make it by the time you're 19, keep going. Who says that because you didn't make it at 19, you have to stop? Who says that because you didn't make it at 25, you have to stop? You didn't make it at 30, you have to stop. Don't stop. If you want to do it, don't stop. Keep going, keep pushing. And that's one of the big things that when I do go into these classrooms, that I teach these kids, like, it might not happen. It might not happen ever. And you have to be open for that too. I kept going, and I was at the verge of stepping away. I was ready to move out of Vegas. My mom lives in Minnesota. I was going to go to Minnesota a couple of years, and I'm like, I need to figure out what I'm doing. And then boom, it hit. So, I'm glad that I kept at it and kept that persistence going.
That's good. This is it must be a sign, because this is the second time we've heard this today. Somebody speak on, no matter what, don't let your age keep you from pursuing your dreams and moving forward. And I think in today's time, a lot of the youth need to hear that. But a lot of the OGs that know these lessons are afraid to put themselves out there, which will be a teaching moment for the youth now,
right?
Because they hold a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, and I'm 42 now. I have so much to learn still. Into my, when you're 50 or 60, you still have time to learn. So I impart the wisdom that I know onto the youth, hoping that they'll take it in. If one person takes it in, I'm happy. But I'm still listening to my mentors, because they've been there longer, and they know more than I do. And I tell people, one of the best things you can do is try something and not succeed at it. I'm not saying you fail. I'm saying you don't succeed, because that gives you the opportunity to learn and to try it again until you do succeed. The time that you fail is when you give up. But if you don't succeed, you know what? Let me try again. There's this saying: if at first you don't succeed, try again. Mm-hmm. And there's merit to that, because you're not going to be the best singer right out of the gate. You're not going to be the best football player right out of the gate. You're not going to be the top CEO right out of the gate. You're got to learn from the people before you who have done it, who know what they're doing. Take that and apply it to you. I didn't grow up playing sport. I did track and field a little bit in high school, but I didn't grow up playing sports. But I could take what I learned in sports and apply it to other things in life. And so it's just good to learn from those ahead of you, like truly listen to them.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Carnell, we're running short of time, but I definitely want to appreciate you for coming on the show, sharing your wisdom, talking to our audience. I just see a lot of big things for you. And, you know, on top of what you already have accomplished and doing on a regular basis. So definitely love to have you back on the show again if you want to choose to do so. But definitely will appreciate you taking the time out. And before you get out of here, just plug one more time where everyone can follow you and find you.
Well, and I want to thank you for having me on the show. You know, I love getting out there and just talking about my journey and where it's led me to, because I'm truly thankful for all the blessings that have fallen upon me. And I hope people will follow me on Facebook and on Instagram at Vegas Golden Pipes, and on X you can follow me at Golden Pipes LV.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time out of your day. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And to our viewers, thank you, and follow us and subscribe to us on our YouTube channel at A Miracle Podcast, and follow us on social media at A Miracle Podcast. And thank you for joining the show. Perion, have a great day. Mr. Carnell, have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all be good.
All right.